Which of the landforms would most likely be found at a divergent boundary? A. Fault line. B. Mid-ocean ridge. C. Volcanic island. D. Mountain. Number 2. In an area known as the Ring of Fire, volcanic island chains have formed in the Pacific Ocean. What most likely caused this to happen? F. Convergent plate boundary. G. Divergent plate boundary. H. Transform plate boundary. J. Mantle hotspot. Number 3. Scientists believe that convection currents within the blank are responsible for the movement of the plates that form the Earth's crust. Asthenosphere. B. Lithosphere. C. Inner core. D. Outer core. Number 4. The most recently formed crust of the Earth would be found F. Where plates moving sideways passing each other. G. Where one plate is going under another plate. H. Where two plates are pushing directly towards each other. J. Where two plates are moving away from each other in opposite directions. Number 5. Using the piece of topographic map below, in which direction would you expect a delta to be formed? A. To the left. B. To the right. C. To the top. D. To the bottom. Number 6. If the river in the topographic map illustrated in the previous question cut a deeper canyon over time, what would the topographic map of the area look like? F. G. H. J. Number 7. Use the topographic map below to predict how the landform may be reshaped by weathering. Your answer choices: A. Weathering could reshape the top of the landform to increase elevation. B. Weathering could reshape the top of the landform to decrease elevation. C. Weathering could reshape the right side of the landform to create a cave. Weathering could reshape the landform to create a canyon. Number 8. Alfred Wegener noted that fossils from a particular type of reptile were found on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. Which of the following would the best explanation of how this occurred? F. They swam across the ocean. G. The Atlantic Ocean did not exist in earlier times. H. They walked across a giant land bridge that has weathered away. J. They walked across an ice bridge located near the equator. Use the following model for the next 3 questions. 1, Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2, Roman numeral 3, Roman numeral 4, A, B, C, D. Now for your question. Number 9. Where would the youngest ocean floor be found? Which area on the terrain above would show an area with a divergent plate boundary? Number 11. Where would the ocean floor be the oldest? Use the following scenario for the next 3 questions. This is pointing to clay. The following is a model of how a volcano is formed in the ocean. Clay is used to represent lava coming out of the ground. The clay is pushed through a hole in the bottom of a fish tank. The following forms. You can see how the clay comes through the bottom and slowly forms an island that is above the water. Afterwards, fishing line is used to cut off a piece of the island to show how the volcano will weather. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 12. Which of the following series of topographic maps represents the formation and weathering of the volcano in the clay model? Number 13. What is an advantage of this model? A, can visualize topography. B, shows clay pieces cut off. C, shows how clay grows. D, none of the above. Number 14. What are two limitations of this model? F, it shows that clay does push through, forming volcanoes, and it shows a process. G, it shows how long it takes for volcanoes to form and progression. H, shows clay is not the same consistency as magma and rocks do not weather. J, all of the above. Number 15. The model below shows two continental plates. You have folded mountains. You have a continent here. They're crushed together, and here's a continent. The folded mountains in this model at which type of plate boundary? A, transform boundary. C, divergent boundary. C, subduction boundary. D, convergent boundary. Number 16. The satellite photograph below shows a large meteorite crater that's 1,200 meters in diameter and 170 meters deep. This crater is located in a flat, arid part of northeastern Arizona. That's the crater. How will this crater most likely change over time? F, it will get deeper as it fills with water. G, it will rise up like a volcanic crater. H, it will become less deep as the rim erodes. J, it will widen as it fills with lava. Number 17. The thick black lines on the map below show the locations of mid-ocean ridges. Talking about these right here. Which geological feature is most likely to form at a mid-ocean ridge? A, a peninsula. B, a volcano. D, C, a delta. And D, a plateau. Number 18. A section of a topographic map is shown below. What is the difference in elevation in meters between point X, which is here, and point Y, which is here? Your contour interval is 20 meters. Record your answer and fill in the bubbles on your answer document. Be sure to use the correct place value. 19. The satellite image below shows a ship channel between South Pottery Island and Boca Chica Beach in South Texas. That's the ship channel. Sand is sometimes removed from the ship channel through a process called dredging to make it easier for ships to travel through. Recently, sand from the bottom of the channel was moved to area beaches. Without this transfer of sand, what would most likely occur in this area in the future? Move down. Here's your answer choices. A, the ship channel would become deeper and the island would move west toward the mainland. B, the ship channel would become shallower and the beach would become narrower. The ship channel would become narrower and the island would become completely covered with water. D, the ship channel would become wider and the island would sink into the Gulf of Mexico. Number 20. The Himalayan mountains are shown on the map below. China, Himalayan mountains, Nepal, India, the Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, north, west, south, and east. Scroll down to your questions. 4 students were asked to identify the geological process that caused this mountain range to form. Their responses are shown below. Student responses. Student 1, 2 continental plates converging. 2, an earthquake in a subduction zone. 3, a tectonic plate moving over a hot spot. 4, movement at a transform fault boundary. We're looking for the mountain range right here. Which student correctly identified the geological process that formed the Himalayan mountains? F, student 1, G, student 2, H, student 3, J, student 4. Number 21. The image shows a plate boundary. Arrows have been added to indicate the movement of the plates. One going this way and one going this way. The plate boundary feature is also shown. What plate boundary feature is also shown? A ridge formed by an inactive convergent boundary. B, a valley formed at an active divergent boundary. C, a fault formed at an active transform boundary. D, a volcano formed by an active transform boundary. (22) The satellite photo below shows San Francisco, California, which has many miles of coastline and an inland bay. Point T, this is the Pacific Ocean. Point S, the inland bay. N and P. Let's go down to your questions. Which area of the coastline has most likely experienced the greatest effect of erosion from waves over hundreds of years? This is the Pacific Ocean. F, area N, G, area P, H, area S, J, area T. Number 23. The map below shows the locations of 4 active volcanoes in the Caribbean Sea. Volcanoes in the Caribbean: Central America, South America, and here are all the islands in the Caribbean: St. Catherine, Mount Pelée, Los Soufriere, Soufriere Hills. This is volcanoes. That's the key. What do these volcanoes indicate about plate tectonics in the region? A, the volcanoes form an island arc indicating a converging plate boundary. B, the volcanoes form a line indicating a divergent plate boundary. C, 2 plates are moving past each other, causing faulting and magma formation. D, 2 plates are moving apart, creating new seafloor. 24. A student stands at a point marked X on the topographic map below. Right there. Contour interval 10 meters. What's the height